YouTube! My second today. Yep, got my hair cut, and the shirt that I was wearing earlier felt too much hairy, so I put on this Giant shirt. It's cool, right? Yep. I'm still a Giants fan, and I always will be. Loving every minute of it. Loving every minute of being a Giants fan. Now this is a video of a story that should absolutely just make you so sick to your stomach and confused, because it's just so wrong. Well, hey, past presidents appointed conservative judges. They thought they'd get the job done, and they think they'd help and be the right people. They're not the right people, nor are they doing the job. Supreme Court justices sicken me, and the presidents who appointed these conservative idiot justices sicken me too. Anyway, here's the story. A 10-year-old girl from Ohio girl has traveled to Indiana for an abortion after SCOTUS overturns Roe v. Wade. Indiana abortion providers have experienced an insane amount of requests from out-of-state following the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Yeah, this young girl could have done it in her state, but since the stupid justices on the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, she had to go out of state. And let's see. Ohio to Indiana. It's 3 hours away! Supreme Court justice, you are making a lot of damage in people's lives. That goes to the conservative one. But you don't care. That's all you want to do anyway, is cause damage. Past presidents figured, hey, conservative justices in office, they can get the job done. And they're the right people to be on the court. They're not doing their jobs correctly, nor are they the right people on the court. Anyway, the growing strain of reproductive rights is significantly impacting the country's remaining abortion providers. Dr. Caitlin Bernard, an obstetrician gynecologist in Indianapolis, told the Cincinnati Enquirer that she terminated a pregnancy for a 10-year-old girl who traveled from Ohio following the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade and the constitutional right to abortion. These idiots sicken me, I can't tell you. And yes, this girl is 10 years old. Don't you think that's a little too young to become pregnant? Like a lot more too young. A lot too young to become pregnant. She was referred to the patient on Monday by a child abuse doctor in Ohio after the state outlawed abortion following 6 weeks of pregnancy. In response to SCOTUS ruling, the girl was 6 weeks and 3 days pregnant. Although abortion is still legal in Indiana, Dr. Bernard worries doctors there soon won't be able to provide the service. Either as state lawmakers are expected to further restrict or ban abortion during an Indiana General Assembly special session on the 25th of July. It's hard to imagine that in just a few short weeks we will have no ability to provide that care, Dr. Bernard said. Indiana abortion providers have seen an influx of out-of-state patients since the SCOTUS ruling. Dr. Katie McHugh, another Indiana OBGYN, told the Enquirer she has fielded an insane amount of requests from Ohio and Kentucky, with out-of-state calls jumping from between 5 and 8 a day to around 20. Meanwhile, a Kentucky judge has temporarily stopped the state from enacting a trigger ban on abortion, and Ohio clinics have taken a lawsuit to find the state's 6 weeks ban unconstitutional. President Biden previously doubled down on his pro-choice support, announcing from a press conference in Madrid on Thursday that he will have news to share after meeting with some governors this weekend. The most important thing to be clear about is, I believe we have to codify Roe v. Wade in the law, he said firmly. And I agree with that. The way to do that is to make sure that Congress votes to do that. And this is not what he said, but we kick out but we impeach the conservative justices and put in liberal justices. The way to do that is to make sure that Congress votes to do that. Back to the story. And if the filibuster gets in the way, it's like voting rights. It should be that we provide an exception to this, requiring an exception to the filibuster for this action to deal with the Supreme Court's decision. Last month's 3-6 ruling reversed nearly 50 years of precedent, giving states the power to pass down their own laws around abortion. Since the decision, Arkansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Missouri, and South Dakota have already banned abortion in their states, after putting trigger laws in place that governors enacted following the SCOTUS ruling. Protests have since erupted around the country, and Biden, 79, has spoken out against the ruling, in which he called the, quote, realization of an extreme ideology and a tragic error by the Supreme Court. Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., it was a tragic error by the Supreme Court, and they will be held accountable. The decision comes after the opening of the league to Politico in May. A poll conducted by CNN has found that 66% of Americans did not want Roe v. Wade to be overturned. Well, should have been 100, but if there were more liberal justices on the Supreme Court and less conservative justices, like one or two might be fine, but the rest should be liberal, then the right to an abortion might still be in effect. But these past presidents, they figured, hey, conservative justices in office, they can get the job done and do the job correctly. They're not doing either one of the things. All they're doing is screwing Americans up. Come on, think about it. Lives are going to be lost, and it's so tragic to say, but it's true. We need to impeach these 5 or 6 conservative Supreme Court justices and replace them with liberal justices immediately. Immediately we must replace them. See you in the next one.